Well, welcome to Hamilton County Newsmakers. I'm your host, Perry Williams, here at HamiltonCountyTV.com. My guest today is no stranger. I've been having him on each month, and that's probably which is Jack Russell, who heads up the chamber in Westfield. And every month we have some exciting news to always going on, right? Jack, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that's already happened this past month, because I know you've had another record-setting pace on membership and some of the events that you've had, and also some of the ribbon cuttings of some of the new business over there.
Yeah, so we are happy to announce that as of October, we have added over 52 new members in the last 5.5 months. So we're keeping busy over in Westfield. Last week we had Gerber Collision and Glass ribbon cutting. And of course today we had Coffee with the Chamber with Element 3 Marketing. And we talked a little bit about social media.
Jack, I thought that was very, very informative.
Oh, yeah.
Today. There was a lot of good information out there talking about all types of social media, from Facebook to, what was it, Red Dot?
Red Dot, yeah.
Red Dot, which I had no clue on.
Yeah.
But it's amazing for, and showing those stats that Element 3 showed us today about, on social media, 71% is on Facebook.
Oh, so. Yeah. And I think it's just another educational piece that we can add from a chamber perspective, because no matter who you are, sometimes in a small business, you are the HR, you're the owner, and you're the social media guy, and probably about 4 or 5 other hats. So it was a great time this morning, and of course we have kept busy all last week. We've had 5 new members already in October, and last week we actually implemented 2 new programs that we'll talk about a little later. But kind of looking forward in October, next week is our luncheon for financing. It's called Financing for Your Future at the Bridgewater. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're going to be talking about retirement, estate planning, and we have John Kerr from Edward Jones Investments, Keith Bell from Bell & Bell, and Mike Allerding from Allerding CPA Group. So they're going to come out and talk to us a little bit about that. The next day, October 21st, Colton Blickenstaff, who you met today, Absolutely. He is opening his new office there. He's a State Farm rep on 32, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting and open house for him. So that's at least next week, taking a look at next week.
Yeah, Jack, let's touch a little bit on this meeting coming up, your chamber luncheon. Did you mention where it was? Or?
Yeah, it's at the Bridgewater from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And over the last 5 months, we've had over 100 in attendance, so we're looking to have another busy chamber luncheon of over about 100 people coming to that one as well.
Well, that sounds exciting, and retirement and those type of things, and investing your money in the correct places is important, and I'm sure that chamber luncheon is going to be just as good as all the rest you've had, because you've had some great guests these last 5 months. The one thing I wanted to touch on that you mentioned, the ribbon cutting last week with Gerber, they took over. Did they buy out Collision Crew?
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting that, some of the things that you run into when, or empty buildings and that type of thing. So It's always nice that, they bought Collision Crew, but they decided to keep, that building renovated there and things going. So
yeah,
that's important.
And Gerber did a great job of renovating it and making it look, top notch. And so, if you're over on 32, ever get a chance, that building, it's a great building.
Yeah, it's a great building. And in fact, I stopped by there yesterday to introduce myself to some of the folks, and they're very, very polite and kind people.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
What about, I know, Jack, that you got a lot of things going on this month outside of that first week, and let's talk a little bit about some of the partnerships that you're working on now.
So again, last week we introduced 2 new partnerships, along with having 5 new members and getting these programs in place. One of the new ones we have is called Books and Business. we've partnered with the Westfield, Washington Public Library. What this is it gives our businesses an opportunity to give back to the community. What they can do is, if you have a special skill, whether it's finance or health or really any type of entrepreneur or any type of skill that you have, you can then give back to the community inside the library. One of the things we talked about and what some citizens were interested in is credit card fraud, health and wellness, even yoga classes, things like that. So we've decided to do that partnership, and it's Books and Business, where community and business connect. And of course, as you know, coming to some of our stuff, the number one job of our chamber is to connect people with people. And that's not just businesses to people or businesses. It's us as a community connecting each other. And that one it's with Cheryl Sollers and her staff, and it'll be a lot of fun. And of course, this next month in November, we're going to have coffee with the chamber there at the library and do some networking there as well. So we're excited about that partnership and look forward to doing some programming with them.
And that's very interesting when you announced that this morning, coffee at the chamber at the library. With your attendance around 30, 40 people at the chamber coffees, it's always great to have that many go to the library and see all the different things that they have going on there, because
Right.
A library is not just where you go and check out a book or take a
Right.
look at something in an encyclopedia, or back like when you and I were in school, you could get a quick nap there,
Right,
because it was quiet.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think it's a library is such a different thing than what it used to be.
Oh, absolutely.
It's from a technology standpoint. Just walking in there just a couple of days ago and taking a look, iPads and the ability to find technology and books and that type of piece together. It's a unique thing, and so we want to make sure we promote the library and promote the idea that it's not just there's so much more that a library can offer than just the book side of things.
Absolutely. And I think you also cultivated another partnership.
Yeah, we decided since we had some free time that we'd do it.
Last week wasn't busy enough. So.
No. So last week or last Friday, we introduced what's called Chamber Innovation. It's Connect, Learn, Grow. And what we're doing with Chamber Innovation is we're partnering with the schools. My background being manufacturing and recruiting, and what we've noticed is that Noblesville's done a great job of this with their community. Our students, we want them to be invested in Westfield. We want them to be invested in their community. And we have a lot of very, very talented, very smart students, and we want to make sure that, not just college ready, but let's get them career ready. Let's get them ready for that next step. And so we're working with the schools to create innovation through maybe robotics or engineering. We're going to, along with that, with the classes and seminars, we're going to start with an internship program between the schools and us. If a student is interested in a certain topic, those teachers can then reach out to the chamber, and then we can go out to the business community and see what there is out there for that student. Because again, Sherry or Principal McGuire over at the school, she made a great point that we're preparing students for jobs that aren't there yet, for technology that hasn't been invented yet. So it's a great partnership, so we can say if a student's interested in agriculture or a student's interested in advanced manufacturing, it's our job then we can help connect those students to their passions.
I know in the internships for high school, it's a great program, because I can remember back, even though it's been many, many years ago, when you get ready to graduate from high school, what do you want to grow up and be, okay?
Right.
You're going to your, of course, our core back in my day was to go to college, okay?
Right.
But when you walk on that college campus, you think, what am I here? I mean, what am I going to do?
Right.
And you spent the first couple of years just taking general courses because you hadn't decided what you were doing in life. This way, that gives you the opportunity to go out there in the field, okay, and see some of these things on a day-to-day operation in small little doses. And if you get signed up as a sophomore, you could, do 3 years of internship, and there may be things that you think you're interested in,
Right.
but once you get out there and you see it,
Right.
you may not be interested in that.
Yeah.
Or you may have a bigger passion.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's just one of those things where as a student, whether you're maybe sophomore, junior, senior level, hey, as a sophomore, I'm interested in event planning, and all of a sudden, like you said, you go and try it, and you go, oh, I don't want to do it. It's better to do it when maybe you're a sophomore in high school than to spend 4 years in college or even a vocational school and say, you know, I want to be an engineer or an electrician, and all of a sudden you have that opportunity in high school to do those things. So.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity and everything. You know, one of the things, let's talk a little bit about, you know, partnerships and how important that is. I mean, we've talked about it, and I know you've worked out a partnership with the Hamilton County Reporter on getting information out there to your members and those different things and expose. So you've got a lot of partnerships going, and that's what it's all about. I mean, individually, I'm not sure we'll survive, but as a team, we can win. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everyone, and I'm sure you have many partnerships that you can't talk about right now down the road there, but it's great to be able to offer these type of things up to your members.
Yeah, and I think the best example of this would be Chamber Innovation. What was happening was we were trying to get this together, but we didn't have the students. We didn't have the school. The school actually was doing the same thing, but they couldn't have the business side of it. They were struggling with that. Well, it turned out that Matt, who was in the press release, and I finally got to sit down. He told me about his vision. Then I replied and said, well, it's kind of scary because that's exactly what I was doing. So instead of having to have two trains going one way, we can be one train going in the same direction. And I think it's one of those things where instead of reinventing the wheel, let's work together and get it moving, because something like Chamber Innovation can affect so many students so quickly if done right and you have the right partnerships. And same with the books. You know, there could be a citizen out there that's struggling with health and wellness, or struggling with credit card fraud, or struggling with these things, and there's no opportunity for them to be connected with their problems. And that's what we're here for. I mean, not only do we connect business and business, but it's our job to really connect the community.
You're correct. And another thing I want to mention here is one of the things that I think that you've done a very good job as running the chamber now is you're not afraid to go out and look in other communities and take advantage of some of the things that they're doing. Because at this stage of the game, we're not inventing too many things. We're kind of taking, or as you might want to say, borrowing ideas from other communities that have been successful, and there's nothing wrong with that. A perfect example is what you and I are going to on Thursday with the Northern Hamilton County and Tipton County Chamber of Commerce luncheon at probably one of the top businesses in Hamilton County. Is nobody does it better than Beck's Hybrid.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Some of the things that you've done with other groups to try to grow Westfield. Yeah,
I met up in Tipton, and I've spoken with Vicki and her team, and they have a new economic development director, Nathan, and really, if the region can succeed, all of us can succeed, and I'm a big believer in that. I've gone up to Northern Hamilton County, had breakfast with a couple of those businesses, and listened to their pain points, and actually listened to where they're growing. With Grand Park, Cicero, Indiana has seen a growth in wanting to be a food, we want to be a restaurant community. Sheridan with 31. So we have to share those ideas. And I think that that's a big factor in this. Of course, with Noblesville, I had my little thing with Bob, who will be wearing a Westfield jersey here soon. But again, with Carmel One Zone, when I took over this position, I wanted to make sure that we have great ideas, but we as a region can do so much more than just as a city alone. And if we can build off our successes and build off of the momentum that not only Hamilton County, but even look at Tipton, just north of us, I think we can see a lot of success. And I think that especially in Northern Hamilton County Chamber of Commerce, it's such an asset to Hamilton County as this growth continues to go north. That how do we manage that growth? Well, it's our job as a chamber to help not only manage that, but help them as a community figure out their vision and what they want to be.
As we go deeper and deeper into this, and Westfield becomes more and more of a destination with Graham Park, because I just got an email today about the Indiana Soccer Association going to have an indoor league up there. So there's just many opportunities of people coming in this area, and we as a group have to do a good job of shuffling those people to certain destinations, because let's face it, sometimes these last few years at Graham Park, it made more sense with all the construction and all those things going on. It made sense as Joe Q public, who was coming into Hamilton County for the first time, to go eat up north rather than go south because of all the traffic. And so that gives the opportunity for people as far as Howard County up there in the Kokomo area, and the Tiptons and the Ciceros. And of course, you and I know a little stop out there, Wilson's Market on 31. If you go there on a Saturday and Sunday, you see a lot of teams in there getting chicken or sandwiches and different things like that, or watermelon or drinks or stuff like that. So this can benefit. Just because it's in Westfield doesn't mean that everyone can't benefit.
Absolutely. And there's a reason why our mayor in Westfield jokes. He says there's a reason why the mayor of Carmel calls and says thank you for all of his hotels being
that's right. And I imagine if we talked to Mayor Goodnight and
Kokomo, he'd probably say the same thing.
So the opportunities, and I wanted to mention that because that's one of the great things I think you do is when you've taken this job, you're not afraid to listen to what other people have done and become successful, and so that's important.
Absolutely.
What are some of the other things? Anything?
Yeah, we just have like a couple more things.
Okay.
we have the ribbon cutting. We have a new members breakfast on October 27th at the Bridgewater from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. We had about 20 new members last quarter, and of course we wanted to make sure that we took care of all of our new members, and so we added another one this year, another new member breakfast, and we'll have about 25 to 30 new members show up to that as well. So we want to thank the Bridgewater for hosting that. The 27th of October is a big one for us. We are now the host this month of the All County Business After Hours. And we want to thank Jonathan Bird, Jonathan Bird's going to be doing, not only the sponsor, they're going to be giving tours, along with providing food for the All County Business After Hours. And that'll be at Graham Park Event Center from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So if you've not been to that building yet, please come to that building. It is incredible.
Because I think it's one of those buildings, Jack, that, you and I have been in it several times, but to go and to describe to people what it's like, I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, you can't really, there's 3 full-size soccer fields in this building, and there's one of the top cafeterias in central Indiana that's now located there in Jonathan Bird's, and there's motels that are being talked about that'll be connected to the event center, and then all the things that are going on outside. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And so again, that's the 27th, All County Business After Hours this month, 4:30 to 6:30. You can sign up on our website, westfield-chamber.org. It should be a great time. And of course, the next day we have the Economic Development Breakfast at Charleston's from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then the last thing I put was Halloween in Westfield. You're allowed to trick or treat from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we got a lot going on right now in October. But again, this is my 6th month as the president of the Chamber of Commerce,
and you haven't done much at all.
I haven't done anything really.
Well, that's great. And the one thing about it, I want to make sure that everybody, Jack's talked a lot about partnership, but one of the things that we're working with the Chamber on over at Westfield is Hamilton County TV as a partnership of coming over there and doing some videos and hopefully working out the details for you to have your own show where we can come over there and I'll do the videoing with the camera and everything, and you'll interview guests, or we'll go to different new venues and retail businesses around Westfield. So
right.
There's a lot of potential here that we can do to help every community.
Yeah. And that's why we do these partnerships. You know, I listen to the needs of my members and what they're looking for, because I'm a big believer in return on investment. Not only is, of course, spending money with the chamber an investment, but your time is an investment. And if we can make sure we can get you the most exposure, help you connect with the most people, then we're doing our job in Westfield. And, we look at Hamilton County Reporter, that gives us an opportunity with that partnership to provide information, Hamilton County TV here, as we continue our partnership, exposure for our business community, and maybe some of those that can't come to a luncheon or a business after hours. It's another opportunity for our members to see value.
Absolutely. Well, Jack, I appreciate you being here today with us, and it's always great to hear what's going on in Westfield, and I'm hoping that you'll come back next month and visit with us. And for Perry Williams and Jack Russell, we'll be here. I will be here next week, and in fact, we're having Our Town Cicero, because they got a lot of great things in their main street there going on, and we want to let the viewers know all the things that are going on up there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we'll see you next week.